The kingdom's army had set up camp at the edge of the plains, and while the rescue squad was sleeping peacefully, Usato woke up early in anticipation of the coming battle. While outside, he was approached by an Yukami, who was surprised to see him wearing the same uniform as Rose. However, she immediately asked for Usato's opinion on her armor, as she was proud of how pretty and functional it was. Usato was amazed at how excited she was, but he was surprised that she liked these things more than the cutesy stuff. And Yukami disagreed. She declared that she used to raise cacti back in their world to soothe her heart, but Usato was not really sure if that was cutesy. Hearing this, Inukami declared that he should soothe her heart instead. Usato refused, but she thought he was just hiding his embarrassment, and she was determined to reveal his cute side even if she had to use force. Usato cried out for help, calling for Ryusen's name, and he actually appeared and held back Inukami. Inukami complained, but she had no choice but to follow, as Siglis was summoning her. She declared that she would have Usato soothe her heart later on, but he was just thankful that Ryusen took her away. Siglis explained that they would launch a magic strike as soon as the enemy appeared, and the heroes were given the task of leading at the front to open a path towards the enemy commander and take her head if they got the chance. Afterwards, Siglis declared that they would bring good news back to His Majesty, and Yukami was still worried about Ryusen, but he was confident he would be fine, and he was worried about Inukami instead, as he knew that she came to Usato to distract herself. Inukami admitted that she was a bit uneasy, but she was also excited. Because of this, Ryusen thought that she had changed, and Yukami declared that the previous her was gone, but she was happy because Usato accepted her change. It was the first time Ryusen had heard about it, so they agreed to talk about it if they all came back alive. At the same time, they noticed the presence of the enemies from afar. The army immediately prepared their spell at the sight of the demon army, and the heroes led this attack. However, it was actually illusion magic, and the real demon army was charging at the left side of their formation, so Inukami and Ryusen immediately move out to block them. Rose had also started giving out orders to the rescue squad. She asked Tong and the others to move out and bring back the injured, but she didn't forget to remind them to return alive. Afterwards, she asked Orga and Yururu to stay in tents to heal the injured, and she put Eriku in charge of keeping them safe, but she reminded them to run if there was an emergency. Lastly, she told Usato that they would help Orga and Yururu, and they would only head out once combat injuries started escalating. Yururu noticed that Usato was worried about Inukami and Ryusen, but she reminded him to be careful as well once he was out on the battlefield. However, they were surprised when Tong immediately brought back a couple of injured soldiers, so Rose had to remind them to get to healing right away. Usato nervously healed the soldier's serious injury. The soldier's words about a giant snake reminded him of the monster he encountered in the forest, but he concentrated on healing the soldier first. The soldiers were currently helpless against the giant snake, so the Black Knight thought humans were really weak. At the same time, a soldier pierced her chest from the back. However, the injury was actually reflected back to the soldier. The soldier was confused, and he crawled on the ground determined to escape and inform everyone about her ability. Hearing this, the Black Knight wanted to finish him off, but Alec threw some stinky water in her direction and took away the soldier while she was distracted. The Black Knight realized that Alec was one of the kidnappers Amila was talking about, and she thought they were interesting. At the same time, she noticed Inukami's lightning magic from afar, and she headed in its direction. Seeing that the battle's casualties were increasing, Rose declared it was about time they headed out. She asked Usato if he was ready, so Usato declared that he was prepared as her right-hand man. Hearing this, Rose thought she had nothing to worry about, but Usato teased her that it was so unlike her. Rose left the siblings in charge of healing everyone in the tents, and she asked Eriku to keep them safe. While on their way to the battlefield, Rose warned Usato about a Black Knight using dangerous magic, and she asked him to be careful. Usato stopped in his tracks as he remembered his vision of his friends dying at the hands of the Black Knight. Rose asked what was wrong, but she taught Usato a technique to keep him safe, aware that Usato didn't have the resolve to kill someone. Usato teased Rose if she had made it for him. Rose denied it, but he was still thankful. Afterwards, they split up and charged in opposite directions. Although it was his first time on the battlefield, Usato immediately snatched a soldier away from imminent death. The other demons aimed at him, realizing that he was a healer, but he managed to dodge and dash away. Meanwhile, Rose overpowered the demon soldiers while saving the kingdom's soldiers. After healing the soldiers, Usato returned to the battle to continue his task. At the same time, Inukami was using her magic to eliminate the demons. Although killing the enemies made her uneasy, they were determined to open a path towards the enemy commander as fast as they could so they could help their comrades against the giant snake afterwards. However, the Black Knight arrived to stop their charge. Ryusen and Inukami could tell that she was powerful, but it was different for normal soldiers, so they charged at her despite Inukami's warning. Surprisingly, the Black Knight just stood and let them pierce her armor with their weapons. The duo was surprised, and Inukami wondered if the Black Knight didn't feel pain. But she transformed her armor to push the soldiers back before reflecting the injuries she was supposed to receive. Ryusen attacked the Black Knight with his light magic out of rage, but Inukami tried to stop him. Ryusen was confused, so Inukami explained that the injuries the Black Knight received would be reflected back to the attacker. However, Ryusen's attack grazed the Black Knight's shoulder, so he suffered from the same injury. The Black Knight thought Inukami was smart, as she figured out her ability right away, but she declared that she would be taking their lives. While running on the battlefield, Usato saw visions of his friend's death again. He suffered from an extreme headache that couldn't be healed by his magic because of this, so he was an easy target for the demon soldiers. But luckily, the first soldier he saved arrived to save him. Usato immediately asked where the heroes were, so the soldier explained that they would be at the very front of the battle. Usato thanked the soldier before running towards the front lines, but he could only hope that he could make it in time. The demon and kingdom soldiers engaged each other, so Inukami and Ryusen were left to fight the Black Knight alone. Inukami immediately thought of a plan. Ryusen thought it was dangerous, but they had confidence that Usato would arrive to heal them if anything happened. They charged simultaneously, and Inukami used her magic to obstruct the Black Knight's vision. They managed to land some hits on her, and they wondered if she couldn't reflect the injuries she suffered from attacks she couldn't see. But the injuries were still reflected. However, Inukami noticed the remaining injury on the Black Knight's back. Because of this, she decided that they give it another try, and Ryusen agreed. Inukami used her magic to boost her speed, while Ryusen blinded the Black Knight with his magic, so Inukami managed to pierce her chest from the back. Because of this, she concluded that the Black Knight couldn't reflect attacks she couldn't sense, and since she was now unable to speak, Inukami signaled for Ryusen to finish her off. However, the Black Knight was actually faking her injury. She pierced Ryusen's stomach with her sword before reflecting the injuries she was supposed to suffer from Inukami's attack back to her. Afterwards, she revealed that she could reflect on the damages she received at will, and it doesn't matter if she didn't sense the attack or if she uttered the word reflect. Then she declared that no one in the world could hurt her, so Inukami could only look at the injured Ryusen with despair before apologizing to Usato, who was still looking for them throughout the battlefield. Thank you all for watching. Don't forget to drop a like if you enjoy this video, and please subscribe so you won't miss the next part. And just comment down any anime you want to see in this channel.